give the people what they want.
Jalen, we have a good game tonight on Thursday Night Football. Two teams that could be Super Bowl contenders or two teams that might not even make the playoffs. We're going to find something out about these teams tonight. It is the Rams against the Seahawks. The last time that the Rams took a football field, they gave up 55 points.
55 to Jameis.
They gave up 55 points to Jameis and the Bucs. You know, they've got a lot of big names on the defensive side of the ball. Should they be concerned about the defense?
Not yet. Because Jared Goff threw the football 68 times.
I know.
That doesn't help your defense, number one.
No.
Number two, Todd Gurley, the highest paid running back in football, carried the football 5 times.
Splitting carries.
5 times.
Todd Gurley. If you drafted him in fantasy, you are not happy.
They have to get back to their identity. Under Sean McVay, ball control has been the key. When they hold the football almost half of the game, they're virtually unbeatable.
Let that defense rest.
And let that defense get a rest. If you're going to keep them out on the field like that, they're going to get torched. And Jameis was up for the task with 4 touchdown passes.
Aaron Donald, not doing a lot this season. Now, people look at the double teams, but, you know, Khalil Mack's getting double teamed sometimes. Do you think Aaron Donald's lack of production, sacks, is a function of him offenses scheming against him or him just kind of having a slow start?
I think he's so very good, they're triple teaming him. And when you have an offense that's not giving you a chance to rest, he's a human being. And when you have your D-backs not covering the way they used to, the quarterback is able to get rid of the football faster. That's happening. And then when he's not pass rushing, they're able to sit back. And you saw Mike Evans skipping into the end zone.
Skipping on the goal line.
Yes.
But the other side of the ball is interesting too. The Seahawks are sitting at 3-1. Oh, okay. Look at them. They've got a good start. They lost to the Saints. But here are the teams that they've beaten, Jalen. You tell me which one of these teams is a good football team.
Okay.
The Broncos, the Cardinals, and the Steelers. Those are their 3 wins. So is this team, the Seahawks, they've got it together, they're good? Or is this team like, you know what? I don't know.
Well, 2 of those teams were projected to have really good defenses. This wasn't the 0-4 Denver that they faced. This wasn't the one without Chubb who got injured for the year. So what it showed me is Russell Wilson continues to flourish as a franchise quarterback.
He does.
Okay, they lost Doug Baldwin. We're not even talking about it.
Nope.
Lockett's getting up the field.
Yep.
Disley as a tight end is making plays. Carson has become a running back that they can rely on. And so they have balance. And what they've done over the years is slowly improve their offensive line.
Good point.
And Russell, with his baseball background, you notice when you watch their games, he don't take big hits.
And he doesn't have to run every time like he used to. Remember 3-4 years ago, he was just running, flushed out the pocket.
He was running for his life.
He was running all the time.
He like, hey man, I'm married Sierra.
I'm not trying to take these hits anymore.
Hey man, y'all need to get something happening with this offensive line.
So Russell Wilson has been in the league for a long time, and he represents something that you wanted to discuss for a long time. You might have to do something for this topic.
I know. So watching football each week, I follow the trends of things that can take. Hey, I know this is a serious program. Hey man, I've been going to the dentist. My mouth is sore, dog. I gotta take this out.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh no! Jalen, take his tooth out. Jalen, show the people your tooth.
I gotta take this out.
Yo, this is such a serious topic. You had to take the tooth out for this one.
Absolutely. So what I've noticed is the kickoff returns are barely happening. I think the Lions have the only one. Bell cow running backs that carry over 30 times are basically becoming extinct. People don't really use fullbacks. People don't really use the 4-3. And then all of a sudden I looked under center. I'm like, there's a lot of black quarterbacks. As a matter of fact, it's more starting and participating black quarterbacks in the NFL right now than ever.
Than ever before.
And let me compare that to another position for some context. Look at this list, Jacoby. How many black
1, 2, 3, 4,
punters
5, 6,
or
7,
kickers
8, 9, 10
are in the league?
11.
How many black?
0.
Correct. That's how the quarterback position used to be.
It really was.
The quarterback position and the kick, it was like
Randall Cunningham popped up.
Yeah, and Warren Moon.
Yeah, Warren Moon. I used to love Warren Moon.
Exactly. So now, a position that the intellect was questioned, the ability to perform on Saturdays in college and or Sundays in the league was being questioned. And now the players on defense have gotten so fast. You a lot of times either need somebody that's really accurate that can throw from the pocket or can elude the rush to the point where they can get out of the pocket and make a play with their legs. So their intelligence has now changed what we see happening in the NFL under center.
Very well put. I'm glad you took your tooth out for that one. Jalen, we have a Jalen update.
I felt like Fred Sanford.
This time, it's Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, remember he was sick and they had a back problem, and then he went to go be with someone who's going to have his child, and now he still not practicing with the team. But the owner of the Jags made a statement. Here is what Shad Khan had to say. He said, quote, "We value the values Jalen adds to us, to the Jaguars. I think we value him highly. We're still looking at what is the right thing for the Jaguars, and I think right now the best thing is to have him be part of the team."
First thing I think about when I see Jalen and Jaguars is JRLA.
That's right, the Jalen Jaguars. Jalen Rose Leadership Academy Jaguars. You can always support JRLADetroit.com. So Jalen, Shad Khan values his value and says the best thing is for him to be part of the team, but he's not part of the team for whatever reason you want to pick from the menu. So what does this mean about Jalen Ramsey moving forward?
This means Minshew Mania and Leonard Fournette and that offense finding a way to get itself together.
Yep.
They still have Calais Campbell, one of the best defensive linemen in football. They're playing really well. They're now going to show him that we're creating something special around here. I know you said you wanted to get traded, but we have something in the AFC that we really believe that we can improve on. Now, if we have you on the field, we can go to the next level. If they keep performing well and he's not playing, at some point, if the players think that it's not because he's injured, you saw what happened with Baltimore and Earl Thomas.
Yep.
When their nose tackle didn't play, it all of a sudden became a dispute. I hope this doesn't carry to the point where players feel he's not playing even though they think he can.
It has to be difficult. This isn't a contract holdout. This isn't, hey, I'm undervalued, I need my money, like Melvin Gordon type of situation. This is, I don't want to play with you guys. I'm too good for this team. And the excuses are starting to pile up a little bit.
Well, what happens is you can't really designate somebody's back injury. Like Della Dime, when she got injured in the game, they came out with a diagnosis.
Herniated
Behind
disc.
his name,
Yep.
we see back.
Yes.
Okay, so when it starts with being sick, and then obviously to be the birth of your child, and then the back, it makes some people look at it sideways.
I look at it sideways. I'm not afraid to say it to a microphone. I look at it sideways.
But as an all-pro player that loves the game so much, if he can play, at some point, it's going to be eating him up that he can't be out there performing the game he loves.
Especially if they keep winning. They keep winning on the back of my guy, Gardner Minshew. You mentioned Minshew Mania, and the Jags are now trying to make little money off of Minshew Mania. They have a package where you can get a bandana and a mustache, and you get an on-field picture with your gear. So here's my question. We have this whole bill in California about getting paid off your likeness, right? And I understand that, but something tells me that Mr. Minshew gets, 0% of the proceeds from this project.
Well, he's a professional, and he gets to trot out there with a uniform on and play quarterback. And you and I both know if you can perform at that position, you can make generational wealth.
Yes.
He's going to be someone that was under the radar. The last pick in the draft, the 6th round, he was drafted where Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. Now all of a sudden, he got a nickname. He got a mini pack.
Yep.
He's going back to his collegiate
He's a legend.
game.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Correct. And so if he can continue to perform well, we're going to see more and more things happen for him like this.
Well, I'm excited about Minshew Mania, and I'm going to buy a bandana and mustache. Jalen, wild card, American League action, winner-go-home game last night in Oakland. Let's just look how it started. Yandy Diaz in the box. This is the first at-bat of the game. Bang! got after it, and Yandy wasn't done. He had 2 home runs. I kept waiting for Oakland to come back in this game, but the bats of the Tampa Bay Rays just let him out. They had 4 home runs in total. Yandy had 2. So now the Tampa Bay Rays, off of this win, have to play the Houston Astros. So my question for you is this. You see them celebrating in the locker room. Is this momentum building, or is this an emotional hangover from the celebration and the focus on that one game? Like, do you think this helps them or hurts them as they head into play one of the best teams in baseball?
I think it definitely helps them. I think it's momentum building. The problem is when you play against Houston, they have some of the most stout pitching that Major League Baseball has seen.
Yes.
And when you have aces like that, they control the game. So I would be very curious to see them hitting opposite field home runs like that
against some of the Houston pitching. And also, you already burned your ace. Like, you have that win. You had that one game, so all of your starters are ready to come in relief or whatever. And then all of a sudden, you have to go to Houston and face their pitchers, and you're looking at your second pitcher.
Can I shout the A's for a second? However,
okay,
as Detroit and Oakland have a kinship.
I've heard you say this before a million times.
It almost breaks my heart that all of the professional teams took the check and left.
The Raiders left, the Warriors left, the Oakland A's are staying.
I appreciate that. As somebody that loves Ricky Henderson so very much, I appreciate that.
Shout out to Ricky Henderson. Steph Curry, one of those players that's leaving Oakland, going to San Francisco where the Warriors will play. And he was at practice, and he couldn't help but notice something was missing. Here's what he had to say about one of his reactions from his first practice. He said, I texted Andre Iguodala yesterday. I had a little heartfelt moment. I said, I miss you, bro. Things change, obviously. We talked about it all summer. And I knew this situation was happening, but this is definitely weird. So they're without Andre Iguodala. They're without Livingston. They're without some real contributors on that Warriors roster. How much do you think losing those veterans, that leadership in the locker room, will hurt the Warriors?
I think it matters, but ultimately something's going to happen with him in Memphis where he's going to end up with a contender. So I believe that he's going to get another chance to play playoff basketball. Andre Iguodala, former Finals MVP. But what I want to make sure I stress is the beauty of a team is when your leader is as inclusive and caring as Steph Curry is.
Good point.
I like the stats, 50, 40, 90s, 30 a game, shattering all the 3 records.
30 points whenever you want.
But I was in the arena when KD got hurt. And when you watch that footage of him limping back to the huddle, limping back to the locker room, Steph Curry was right behind him, rubbing his shoulders. It's going to be all right. I got you. Same with Clay. When Draymond comes out and says, people sleeping on us this year, don't we still got Steph Curry?
Yes.
That's how I feel too. And so for this moment, yeah, they're going to miss Andre Iguodala, but they still got the Splash Brothers when healthy. Draymond Green and D'Angelo Russell, who was an all-star last year. Willie Cauley-Stein is going to make big plays for them, block shots, rim run. So the Golden State Warriors, mark my words, they'll be 6, 7, and 8.
I don't want to face them in the first round of the playoffs. I don't want to face them.
But they're going to get somebody in the first round. And it's going to be a problem
one
for
of those
that
situations where teams might intentionally lose games not to match up with the Warriors
Putting it out
right
there
at the
right
end of the
now.
season. You'll see that happening. I love it when that happens. Be like, ooh, the Warriors? Like, maybe we don't want the 3 seed. Maybe we'll get down to the 4 seed. You will see it in the NBA. Remember where you heard it first. At Jalen Jacoby. Jimmy Butler did something that I cannot believe, and I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about it. That's next on Jalen Jacoby. District of Manhattan, and brought to you by Heineken.
See, that's what you get for opening Heinekens with your teeth.
Beers.
When you're growing up. Not a good decision.
Jalen, you know I'm a Daisy fan. You know this year I'm picking up the New Orleans Pelicans. My Die-Easy NBA team this year is the New Orleans Pelicans. And guess what we have? Guess what we have? We have footage. We have footage from practice of my New Orleans Pelicans. Let's watch the Pelicans fly. Pelicans fly. Oh, Zion, what's it? Out of bounds play? What's Zion going to do? Yang! Jalen, look at the team. Look at Gentry. Gentry's fired up about it. The Pelicans are exciting. What are your realistic expectations for Zion Williamson? Like how many, we were just talking about this, how many points a game for Zion, realistically?
Under 15 points.
Definitely under 15.
Under 10 boards.
Definitely under 10 boards.
I'm looking to him to get almost 2 blocks and or 1.5
Like
steals.
11 points, I would say. About 11 points a game.
Many highlight reel dunks.
Yes, like that.
A lot of terrific hustle plays. We diving for loose balls, engaging with the crowd, exciting the crowd.
You know what's exciting to me about this team is we kind of know what Zion's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, you and I can be like, yeah, 11, 12 points a game. He's going to get some rebounds, some blocks. What's Lonzo going to be? You know, we haven't seen healthy Lonzo for a while, and I'm a big Lonzo Ball fan. I want him to really show out this season.
I think this becomes a breakout year for him.
I think so, too.
He always competed defensively, was always a really good passer. The question on him, besides health, was always his shot. But for people that follow the game as closely as we do, he actually has been making threes.
Yes. And when he's on the same team as LeBron, like, he's not LeBron, but he's a little redundant with LeBron. He's best with the ball in his hand, and he's a great passer. When you have LeBron, it kind of takes that from him.
Him and Drew Holiday in a backcourt, okay, gonna be really competitive.
Good defense.
Absolutely. They're gonna get after you. They're gonna get a lot of steals. They're gonna get out in transition. You have Ingram on the wing to show he could be a scorer in Los Angeles. We talked about Zion as well. So Alvin Gentry always finds ways to get optimum offense out of his teams.
Jalen, Lonzo's on a new team. You know who else on a new team? Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler went to a practice. A practice.
Not a game?
Not a game. It started at 10 a.m. was the practice. And we talked about yesterday about the rhythm of practice, and some people show up early and stay late and whatever. He showed up for a 10 a.m. practice at 3:30 in the morning. At 3:30 in the morning. 6.5 hours early. Like, he probably set his alarm for 3 a.m. for a 10 a.m. practice. That's a little crazy to me.
No, that's one word.
No. Crazy is the word.
Leadership.
No, Jalen. No.
So, if he would have showed up an hour and a half early, we wouldn't be talking about this.
No, we wouldn't.
Correct. And just yesterday on the show, I said you should probably show up, especially nowadays with all of the medicine and all of the great facilities that they have. At least 2.5, 3 hours prior to practice. So he just doubled that. You get to the facility, you fall asleep, okay, when it's 6.5 hours. You get it out there to all of the young people that I beat you to the gym. Let that be the last time. So just like we showed the Clippers and their rooks going to Chick-fil-A and carrying boxes of clothes and stuff like that, that's the message that he sent. And so this is what Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, now Jimmy Butler expect from their team to be tough and competitive.
Hold up. It doesn't count if you show up early just to take a nap. Like, that's not showing up early. If you slept, that's not showing up early. Like, you got to be awake the whole 6.5 hours.
But nobody else is there on the team. The players aren't there.
How's he even get in?
Because you have access. That's what I mean. You have 24. See, this changed. See, players couldn't always go to the facility with a key card 24/7, 365. That has changed now because teams have their own buildings where they play and their own practice facilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that access. And now he's going to look at every player on his team, especially the young players. Don't let me beat you to the gym no more. That's what that becomes.
I'll be like, Jimmy, I'm not showing up.
But no, Jacoby, it creates a residual workout effect. I saw it with OKC, with KD, with Russ, with Harden. Like, you have to get your weight up.
If you're Tyler Hero, right, rookie on the Heat, are you trying to beat Jimmy to the gym?
You're going to show up at the gym, and you're going to see his car. And you're going to be like, oh, man, Jimmy beat me here?
Every single time.
That's what's going to happen.
Good for Jimmy.
And I got to tell you guys something else that kind of went under the radar in the Eastern Conference last year, because you know I go deeper into the box score with this, because I know a lot of people follow this show like to get the taste-making information. Justice Winslow showed he can play.
He did. That was quiet because the Heat weren't really doing much. You know, he did. He showed up.
As a primary ball handler, somebody can play in the backcourt.
You don't hear him in trade rumors as much anymore. I
anticipate a big season from him.
Also, my guy, Tyler Hero. You know why I like him?
He shoots the three?
No.
He's athletic?
No.
He just happens to like the Beastie Boys?
Something like that. Moving on. You talked about Russell and Harden. And one of the most intriguing things about this season, outside of my Die Easy Pelicans, is exactly how Russell Westbrook and James Harden will work together. And Russell Westbrook addressed this, and here's what he had to say. He said, quote, James has it going. I'll sit there and watch. No problem with me. If you have it going, vice versa. Doesn't really matter who scores, how many points they score, who's scoring. I don't really care. As long as the Houston Rockets are scoring and we winning, that's all I really care about. Now, it's one thing to say that on October 2nd. It's another thing to live that throughout the season. Do you think Russell Westbrook is happy taking a sort of second banana roll?
I wish we could pull up the sound bites from when OKC played against the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. And there were so many people that were quick to slander Russell Westbrook's style of play.
Of course.
And I remember being like the only person in the national media that just fawned over the fact that he plays so very hard. I think he's a guy that could play 2 games in one night, back to back. And so that level of effort that he's going to bring is going to be there. And all of a sudden, he continued to progress and became the MVP of the league. And also averaged a triple-double
He did that one
once,
season.
twice, three times a lady. And when Paul George got traded, I rolled over to go to the bathroom like 2, 3 in the morning. And I looked at the phone being blown up. And I was like, I'm going to tweet, I will not be accepting any Russell slander. And Paul George quoted it at all. And that's what I feel about this situation. Everybody feels like Russ is going to have a problem adjusting. You know what I appreciate about his game? And I'm nowhere near the player that he is in any way, shape, or form. I took pride in high school playing with 2 other guys that went to the NBA, Howard Eisner and Voshan Leonard. That means you got to be great and you got to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And 8 or 9 other guys that went and played D1. Then when I went to college as a member of the Fab Five, where you have to defer as well as contribute. And so it says something to me when you're able to perform with other great players. And I've seen stat lines where KD had 50, Russ had 40. James Harden, Russ, KD, it don't matter. He's going to find a way to get
It does have a LeBron and Dwayne Wade in Miami feel to it. And they figured it out. At first it was a little rocky, but they figured it out. I feel like this duo will figure it out as well.
And you know what else they're going to be doing? They're going to be representing him. They're going to be representing him this year. You're going to see a lot of Nip this year. Rest in peace. And you're going to definitely hear it, I'm sure, when you get in their locker room.
Next, we have more NBA plane updates. Not only are the Kings traveling in style on Drake's plane, or Drake OVO plane, the Pacers have quite a plane themselves. Let's take a look at how they're traveling. Your Indiana Pacers, when you were in Indiana, I don't think you guys had this kind of comforts. Now, this isn't so much. These are nice seats, sure, that's luxurious, but wait till we get to the next room. Boom! We got a full-on bar restaurant in here. Like, we got tables and chairs. We got a bar, full bar with a bartender in the back. I have never seen a plane with a full-on restaurant on the inside. Jalen, what does this tell you about how the Pacers are traveling?
Well, the Simon family are terrific owners. Donnie Wash is a terrific ambassador of the NBA and of that team. I just talked to him recently, and I'm going to go and spend some time with the team. Now, I got to get on that plane.
Yeah, you got to get on the plane.
Larry Bird, we all know I appreciated playing for him. And so Kevin Pritchard, all of the people that they have in place. But the key is going to be what people are sleeping on. Victor Oladipo is returning this year.
Yep.
The Pacers held serve without him last year and even made the playoffs.
Lost Bogdanovich.
Okay? But they got Brogdon.
So, Jalen.
So they're going to be a really good squad in
You know what this reminded me of? I saw the way that the Pacers were traveling in style with that restaurant on the plane and those first-class seats. And I was, man, wait a second. Isn't there another professional basketball team in Indiana? Wait a second. There is. The Indiana Fever. And I was like, wait, I remember them traveling as well. It was a little different. Let's take you on a journey on how the Indiana Fever got from Georgia to Indianapolis, okay? This is in the middle of the night. Now, it's 1 a.m, just on the jetway waiting there. Look at those faces. We've all been there before, right? Now, it's 9 a.m. Oh, guess what we're doing? Now we're getting on a bus. Now we're getting on a bus for an 8-hour bus drive and then getting to the game at 5:40. Jalen, the disparity between the way the Indiana Pacers travel and the way the Indiana Fever travel is just too wide.
So I was outspoken as a player, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm able to do this job on a daily basis to talk about sports, entertainment, politics, and fashion culture, okay? So if you've heard me say certain things for decades, I apologize, like the NCAA and how they treat their players. This is a version of that to me, and it disgusts me so very much. This is embarrassing for everybody involved. It's one thing for the players to endure this. It's another thing to be owners of teams, to be a league that allows this to happen.
I get it. If you're like, look, the Pacers bring in X amount of revenue, the Fever bring in Y amount of revenue, there's a gap between that. But the gap should not be that. The gap should not be we got a restaurant on one plane and y'all are taking an 8-hour bus ride.
Dog, they don't play all year. They play in the summer. Okay, and usually that's when the NBA isn't playing. It's a subsidiary of the league. Okay, I know there are going to be people that say, well, if you look at their stands, they're not selling out, or look at how many people watching it on TV, or they're not generating this, so you can't get this, that for them. That ain't the point. You build it, they'll come. If you treat the product like that, that doesn't make it attractive to the average fan.
They'll be playing in Russia. That's what's going to happen. They'll be in Russia.
It upsets me. Like, I can't even give you any astute analysis beside the fact that that's embarrassing. I hope they have what it takes to strike.
Strike?
Yes.
Wow. We'll be back with more on Jalen Jacoby.
Let me get this right.
Okay.
Say I didn't care at all about the WNBA players and I was an owner.
Sure.
And all I wanted to do was win.
Okay.
That don't help your product perform at an optimum level. If they travel in 15 to 18 hours, you want them to be traveling 3 to 5 hours and resting the other 12 hours.
You are still mad about the planes in the WNBA.
I don't understand that.
We just previously showed the way the Pacers are flying to India, and we showed some of the struggles that the Indiana Fever had with their travels. It's a disparity that really needs to be fixed.
If all I wanted to do was
talking about it all commercial break.
So look, if you want people to play for you, you want to create an attractive product. That ain't attractive.
That's not how you do it. Moving on, the Washington football team is a mess. And Jay Gruden, their head coach for now, had this to say about the quarterback position on his own team.
I'm sure you're asked this, but what's the plan at quarterback right now?
We don't have one right now. I'm going to go out here, practice today. We have an individual and a little bit of work we're going to do. I'm going to see the health of the guys, first of all, see where Dwayne's at, and I'll make a decision shortly.
So you expect to make a decision today?
I don't know yet. I might just wait till Sunday at 1 o'clock and figure it out then.
I don't have one right now? We don't have one right now? That's not what you're supposed to say, Coach. That's not how this goes, Coach.
Well, here's what I just heard. He don't want to be there no more.
He's not going to be there for long.
He don't want to be there no more.
He's not going to be there for long.
No, but it's two different things at play. It's one thing if you get fired and you still want the job. It's another thing where you can't wait till they fire you.
Oh, yeah.
So you could go get with your brother at the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. No, they've got...
Join that staff.
No. He's got hotel reservations in the Caribbean starting on Wednesday. I promise you that.
Hey, he'll be in Oakland in 2 weeks, coaching with his
Remember
brother.
where you heard it first. Moving on. Do you remember all the back and forth between Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins? Adam Thielen was calling him out in the media. Kirk Cousins went and apologized. And the whole time, we didn't hear anything from Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs, a very outspoken, big personality, wide receiver in the National Football League. Didn't say anything. Well, guess what? He also didn't do. Show up at practice. And he tweeted this. Now, I'm not an emoji reader. I don't know exactly what that means.
I don't either.
But he's not at practice, and I know what that means. What does it mean to you?
The biggest catch of their season when they eliminated the
Minnesota
Saints
Miracle
wasn't from Kirk Cousins, but it was caught by Stephon Diggs. So you bring in Cousins, you get him a big check. You think he's going to unlock Thielen and Diggs.
Yeah.
Especially with a healthy Dalvin Cook in the backfield.
Great wide receiver tandem and a great running back.
So if you have that level of firepower, you're expected to be productive. And this falls at the feet of Kirk Cousins because he has not been getting it done. However, I have to say this because there are young people watching this show. That don't necessarily mean skip practice.
You got to show up practice. He's not injured. That's an important note. He's not injured.
So in this culture of athletes making more money, having a bigger voice, especially on social media, it doesn't also give you the license to not represent the words that are in your contract.
Yes.
He is a professional football player.
There are consequences for not working when you are paid to work.
Correct. And so now he's going to cost himself his hard-earned money because he's unhappy with someone else. If you want to handle it another way, how about you just show up at practice like, hey, y'all, we want to stop that film. I need to get this off my chest. Like, there's ways to do it.
Yes.
I just don't like to see people cost themselves money on an emotional thing that's happening
And
within
they
their
kind of
profession.
sneak this in, leaving sort of like LeBron-ish little like breadcrumb trails of how you really feel on social media.
Because he's really good.
Oh yeah, Stephon Diggs. Oh yeah,
He's really good.
So Thielen.
If something happens to where they're like, oh, we'll move you, he'll have teams lining up to get him.
So you're an athlete, professional, NBA veteran. I'm a media veteran, and here's what I know: this doesn't help. Do you know what this makes us in the media do? Watch just how many balls get thrown to Stephon Diggs. Just the body language when he goes to the sideline. The cameras will be on him. The cameras will be on Thielen. We'll be breaking down Thielen and Stephon Diggs' production on Sunday more than ever before, and that doesn't help the team,
Well
especially if they lose. Moving on, is now time for some very important news that matters. NASA scientists say they're close to announcing something that's going to change not just us, it'll change the universe forever.
Bring it.
They're close to announcing that they can confirm life on Mars.
I'm out.
These are NASA scientists. This isn't just like crackpots. This isn't me and my friends getting together and saying there's life on Mars. These are NASA scientists. Jalen Rose with the fresh cut in the waves. Are you ready to finally admit that aliens exist? Life on Mars, dog.
How many years?
That's in the neighborhood.
How many
They
years?
said they're close.
Do you realize I did an episode of To Tell the Truth? Mm-hmm. And there were people on that show that sell property on Mars.
Oh, I'll buy some right now. I bet you get it cheap. You get it for cheap. I'll buy some Mars property right now.
I got some swampland in Detroit we could talk about.
I've
you
been in
buying
Detroit.
as
There's
well.
no swampland there. I'm in
That's
Detroit
the
all the
point.
time. There's no swampland. Jalen, do you know what it's going to take? It's going to take like an actual alien being in your living room for you to finally admit that there are aliens in our atmosphere.
No, here's what it's going to take. You get in a space shuttle. You, not anybody else in science.
Okay.
You
Not gonna be able
get
to do
in
it.
the space shuttle.
Not gonna be able to do
go
it.
into space.
Not gonna be able to do it.
because you're so comfortable
Not
that you
gonna be
can
able to
make
do
it
it.
there.
Not gonna be able to
and
do
then
it.
once you get there, you're gonna get us footage of what you see, and then you,
Nope.
David Jacoby, are gonna
Nope.
bring it back.
Do you know what I'm gonna bring back? Triple G. Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby, another boxing legend in the studio. We have the honor of being joined by Triple G. Gennady Golovkin, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I appreciate the time.
Oh, thank you.
You have a very big fight coming up against Sergey Derevyanchenko. What can we expect to see from the two of you in the ring on October 5th?
Oh, he's a good fighter. He's a very strong fighter. I know him long time. He had good experience from amateur. Probably this is a tough fight for us.
Why are you fighting him? Why are you taking this fight?
Right now we have 2 belts, IBF and IBO belts, just like, 2 belts, just he's official challenger, to champions fight, this championship fights.
You want to walk away with both belts, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I wanna.
Jalen?
We've seen you in the ring twice with Canelo, but he says you have nothing else to offer to him. So now he's moving up to light heavy to fight Kovalev. What are your thoughts on that?
It's crazy, answer. He knows we have a contract for September 14, Independence Mexican Day. He said no. I don't know why. Just I think he has problem with his promotion. Just everybody wants to watch this fight.
I agree. Do you think he is ducking you? Do you think he's scared?
Ask him. I don't know. Really, just I'm ready. I want this fight. Just I'm, and we have a business with DAZN. Just come on. Why he's moved? I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you brought up DAZN because them, along with ESPN, have had some very big fights and some pay-per-view fights, and there's been a renewed interest in the heavyweight division, something I haven't seen for quite some time. So between all these great fighters, Fury, Wilder, Joshua, Ruiz, Ortiz, who do you think is the best fighter in the heavyweight division?
Oh, I don't know. This is a tough question for me. Just, everybody's different. Everybody's tough. Joshua looks strong. Andy Ruiz, I know him. He looks good. He win last fight. Just everybody's different.
When you watch all those different fighters with all those different styles, what do you look for in terms of someone who's the best fighter?
Power, speed. For me, I like drama show.
Oh, you like drama? Well, that means you were watching Saturday Night, okay? Because I was glued to the TV watching The Truth, Spence Jr. win a split decision versus Showtime Sean Porter. What were your thoughts on that fight?
Oh, absolutely. This is tough fight. Both is great fighters. Both is great, boxers, two champions. This unification fight, so great for boxing.
You said that you like drama, and we also like to see the drama in the ring, but I've watched your career. Sometimes you're too good for the other fighter. Do you think that could be the case against on October 5th?
Guys, come on. This is boxing. This is boxing. Everybody's different. Everybody's tough. It's professional athletes. Everybody's dangerous. Oh, I know my job. I know my situation. Just my focus 100% to boxing.
Who are some of the fighters that you loved growing up?
I like all styles. I can't say just maybe. I like more middleweight division. Of course, everybody's good. Heavyweight division, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, so many people, or before Roy Jones, come on, Floyd Mayweather. Just so many legends in middleweight division, Marvin Hagler, Monson, Hearns, Durant, Sugar Ray Robinson, Leonard. So many great fighters. I like just little by little, just best points from everywhere.
I know you're focused on fighting Sergey on October 5th, but what do you think could be your following fights after that?
Oh, if I win this fight, I have 2 belts. I have official challenger or unification fight. I want a unification fight, or maybe going up. Next category, maybe 168. Nobody knows.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming by. You can always check out that fight on DAZN. It's going to be on October 5th, and it's going to be dramatic. You heard it from Triple G himself. He said It's going to bring drama. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more on Jalen Jacoby.